Welcome back. This is Live at 1. Now, mental illnesses is often regarded as an embarrassment that many families go to the great lengths to conceal away from the public. Cases abound where the victims are locked up or chained to bedposts to ensure they never come out to disgrace the family honor with their status. But doctors advise that the disease is just like any other and that victims can live productive lives if accorded the right treatment. Diana Kariuki with their story.
Although fairly common, it remains one of the least addressed ailments that is often swept under the carpet. It is not uncommon for victims to be isolated from the rest of the society, often through cruel means such as chains or lockups.
Kulingana na mimi, inaletwa na uganga, watu kwenda kwa uchawi.
Mtu anaweza imba vitu za wenyewe na hatimaye anaweza kuwa mwenda wazimu.
Shida ya chakula hiyo inaweza kuchangia ili uwe mtu unaweza pata hiyo ugonjwa ya kurukwa na akili.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Mental illness is a disease like any other.
I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 2, I'm a singer, I'm a mental health advocate, I do so many things. I'm very business oriented.
Her struggle with what doctors termed as major depressive disorder started with a myriad of conditions.
My doctor was like, he does not understand what is triggering all these 2 illnesses, ulcers, migraine.
Janet was then advised to go to a psychiatrist for evaluation. She was, however, misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder.
2005 was a very, very hard year for me, 2005, 2006.
Janet talks of her painful past, her struggles with a condition that she barely knew how to manage.
I had a suicide attempt.
Aside from the depression, she also had to deal with the stigma.
She's ever fell in town, and the people thought that she was a drunkard. Chokoras had to help her. Street boys had to be the ones helping her.
In 2007, Janet got pregnant with her firstborn and the symptoms reduced. But she relapsed into depression. 1 year and 2 doctors down the line, she has finally been given the right diagnosis.
It was major depressive disorder and paroxysmal anxiety disorder.
Janet attributes her rising up again to the one person who never left her.
My husband is... Oh, I don't even know which word to use. Oh my goodness. Because he was my best friend for the longest time.
Janet also found acceptance in a group of people who understood her, users and survivors of psychiatry in Kenya, a support group for psychiatrist patients in the country.
We call it family. There's no stigma.
One of her friends from the group is 39-year-old Macharia Njoroge, a husband, father of 2, and an electrician. He too has a story to tell.
When I was in high school, though this one went unnoticed, I suffered a lot of anxiety, and I could hear voices. I could see people talk about me, could imagine things, and it really affected my performance. And probably as a result of how to engage myself with other people and how to get an identity, that is how maybe I got into the wrong groups, and I started indulging in substance abuse.
Undiagnosed, Macharia's problems graduated to campus life.
I was always depressed. I lost self-confidence and had very low self-esteem. I had long felt like quitting along the way.
He sunk deeper into depression.
Okay, I was in cat and I was in marijuana. And at this time, I was not in beers anymore. I was in the 2nd generation, and I was in Changa.
He too had his share of discrimination.
Even when I was okay, there is nothing I could say and people take seriously. And despite the fact that sometimes I had all the facts, I had the initiative, sometimes I could work, but nobody could trust me with this job. And even those few people who gave me jobs to do, I was always underpaid.
Macharia was diagnosed with cerebral dysfunction and depression. His treatment marking the beginning of a journey to an eventful life discovery and acceptance.
In year 2009, in one of the rehabilitation processes, I rediscovered myself. and I found it is a big lie. I can still live normal like any other person. All is not lost. I read stories about people who had problems and they are back on their track.
As he started getting his life back on track, Macharia met the woman he would later have as his wife. His wedding came as a surprise to many.
My wedding was maybe a shock to many people. They came out in large numbers, maybe some of them to witness. And because I had actually been written off by the community. They were just maybe waiting for my final day.
Kwangu imekuwa privilege kwa yeye kama mume wangu. Yeah, I feel nice.
Mental health still remains a taboo subject in Kenya, even as the number of people affected around the world increases.
Depression is very common. In my practice, we find depression and anxiety quite common. Then we have other conditions like schizophrenia. Then we have alcohol or drug-induced mental disorders.
Dr. Makanyego emphasizes that the conditions shouldn't stop one from leading their lives.
It's not a setback, it's not a bump, it's just something that will make you better as a person.
Wow. Moving on, it serves as the seat of the national government of Kenya and home to over 100 major international companies and organizations, including the United Nations Environmental Programme. On our continued series on county reviews, 1 year down the line, our reporter Gatete Njoroge traversed various parts of the county and files the following report.
Nairobi City, which is an established hub for business, also serves as the capital city of Kenya. Nairobi, with a population of over 3 million people, has 16 constituencies, and Evans Kidero is serving as the county's first governor. In our assessment on the progress of the county government for the last 1 year, we first visit Kasarani constituency, an area which has for a long time had poor road network. On arrival, we find these men at work, an indication that the county government has heeded residents' plea to repair the roads, although some areas still experience challenges.
Hata saa hii nimetoka garage kuweka mabengs juu ya mashimo ndio mingi. Waudi wanaweka tu sijui mawe huku, tunaona mawe imewekwa huku. So that means barabara hii sio poa, hata ina service ni kama barabara ya kutoka ushago.
A situation replicated in Isili, where for years residents have had to do with bad roads. A situation Nairobi County Executive Member in charge of Transport Evans Ondiek attributes to close working relations with other partners.
So we are collaborating with the other institutions like the development partners like the World Bank, JICA, the European Union, and Habitat, several other organizations. They are doing for us the major roads through Kura and the Kenya.
I'm at a roundabout along Outer Ring Road. The road connects 4 estates in the city. That's Dandora, Mathare, Buruburu, and Kariobangi areas. This road in Dandora area depicts a different picture from Kasarani and Isili. Garbage on the road in this area is also a setback as it poses a health risk to the residents. Surprisingly, the county officials who visit this area are yet to take any action. The city, with over 800,000 vehicles using its roads, experienced traffic snarl-up that is now one of the main challenges facing the city government. The county is estimated to lose about 50 million due to traffic jams every other day.
Traffic jam is a major challenge, but it is a man-made problem. People don't have respect for other drivers or pedestrians. So you find if the lights are indicating green and the vehicles are supposed to move, that's when the pedestrians are now fully moving to the road. Then vice versa, if the pedestrians are supposed to move and the signal is indicating green for them, the vehicles still want to move. So that is a major challenge.
And as part of trying to resolve the Matatu menace, the county is already working on a plan to introduce county buses.
Buses will not have discriminatory prices. It will have a constant price throughout, an average of 35 shillings.
We visited Ruai area in Kasarani constituency. This raw sewer next to Marketplace is what welcomes us to this area, a clear indication that drainage is one of the challenges here.
Mama wanauza hapa, wako na tap, wananyechewa, hii ni maji, na hakuna kitu wanapata, na wanalipa license.
Apart from the drainage menace, the area lacks adequate water supply, with some residents forced to walk for kilometers to draw water.
Ile maji ambayo tunapatanga huku, tunapatanga by lotions. Haya, inakujanga twice per week. Inakuja pengine Monday, na kuna wakati huwa inakawia kuja hata inakuja after 2 weeks.
The sight of donkeys carrying tens of jerrycans is not a new phenomenon in this area. However, residents here are a happier lot.
Vile tumeona maendeleo katika Loai, kwa sababu katika hizi security lights hazikuwa zinawaka mbeleni, lakini after 3 months tangu waanze uongozi tushapata hizo lights zimeendelea. Halafu tena kuna barabara ambazo hazikuwa zimemalizika kujengwa. Kunazo zimemalizika na kunazo bado zinaendelea.
Huruma Estate in Mathare constituency is an area where the county government owns some houses. This as a way of providing housing for residents. But despite it all, residents still feel that the county government need to do more in terms of routine maintenance.
Kwa sababu kama repairs, they don't do them anymore. Ukienda kwa ofisi zao hizo za ndogo ndogo kwa estates, unawaambia shida kama hii na hii, wa respond. Na ukipatikana unafanya repair, they fine you.
Tunalipa lakini hatuna service. Kama ukiangalia hii mataa haziwaki. Ile taa kubwa ile tunaita mulika mwizi, ikifika mwisho wa mwezi kuna watu wanaipima, sijui upimwa namna gani. Hapa watu wanapigwa sana usiku.
We sought views from the Nairobians on the streets over the performance of the county government.
Me, I haven't felt it because jobless corner, I thought they will come with job opportunities, but wanatu promise, so we are still waiting.
Kwanza hawa askari wa city council wanafanya kazi mzuri sana, kwa sababu wameweza kumanage mambo ya Nairobi, na hata jamu hatusumbuki sana na mambo ya jamu. Na upande wa security pia tumeona si kama vile tulikuwa tunaweka magari mataa inaenda. Kwa hivyo mambo ya security ni sawa sawa kabisa.
Nairobi is growing, and at the same time the number of people in Nairobi, they are growing. They should try to stretch the facilities in the city as per the rate of the growth of the county. By this they will solve various problems, including the population congestion, housing.
On part 2 of this story, we will take a look at some key achievements and challenges in slum areas, the health sector in the county, among other issues. This, together with the county government's plan for the next 4 years.
So now move on to the international scene, and a judge in Egypt has sentenced 683 people to death during a mass trial. The people are facing several charges relating to the uprising that led to the ouster of former President Mohamed Morsi. And in the USA, the tornado ripped through south-central United States, leaving at least 12 people dead and hundreds homeless. The details in our international wrap.
Those sentenced in Egypt include Muslim Brotherhood leader Mohamed Badie and the 682 other supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi face charges relating to an attack on a police station last year. The same court also reversed 492 death sentences out of the 529 it passed in March, changing most of the death sentences to life in prison. Elsewhere, peacekeeping troops escorted hundreds of Muslims out of the Central African Republic's capital city of Bangui. Most of the people fleeing were nomadic herders who were caught in the fighting in and around Bangui a few months ago and have been waiting for an opportunity to leave. Central African Republic has been torn apart by religious violence over the past few months, leading to thousands of deaths and displacement of hundreds of thousands of people. Finally, a huge storm system sweeping across the central and southern United States has led to the death of at least 12 people in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Neighborhood homes have also been destroyed. Tornadoes were also reported in parts of Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska and Missouri, causing some damages but no known fatalities. Zedikos gave for Citizen Live at 1.
Let's now move on to the day's business. And all banks are expected to complete the issuance of new fraud-proof ATM cards by the 31st of May. The Kenyan Bankers Association has issued the new deadline, saying 70% of all credit and debit cards in circulation have been migrated from the magnetic strip platform to the chip and pin technology, which is said to be fraud-proof. The move to migrate ATM and credit cards to the new technology began last year against the backdrop of investigations by the Central Bank of Kenya, which revealed that local commercial banks lost about 1.6 billion shillings to card fraudsters between January and September last year.
Approximately 70% of the card base is now EMV compliant. We expect the remaining cards to be migrated by the end of May 2014. Meanwhile, we have received feedback from some banks that are experiencing challenges in getting the cards issued, mainly due to delays in certification, as well as logistical concerns around importing and personalizing the new cards. To protect customers who may incur loss emanating from frauds due to usage of the magnetic stripe cards, there will be a liability shift with effect from the 31st of May this year, whereby the costs associated with frauds involving non-EMV compliant cards will be borne by the issuing bank.
Well, time now for the day's sports.
Mike Jenga, how are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
A bit of a moment there. Right, sports, we are in a global community.
Yes.
We have come a long way in terms of development, but we can't seem to get rid of this racism thing. Yesterday, football, Spain, someone threw a banana at Alves. He picked it up, took a bite
and went on.
When life gives you lemons, as they say, make some lemon juice.
Yes.
You know, instead of eating it bitter. And the same happened in the NBA. There's a video that's right now, it's actually gone viral, where an owner of a club was actually caught arguing with his girlfriend about why his girlfriend associates with black people. Whoa. I have that clip and much more. So we'll look at that after the short break. Don't go anywhere. Citizen Sports will be right back.